All right, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to increase your performance when you're iterating through two data sets. Let's just say you're going over grandma's house and grandma's baking a bunch of cookies for all her grandchildren. There's a ton of grandchildren, and she's making roughly 7 million cookies. And grandma, being the ass that she is, shoves all these cookies in a giant cookie jar. This is just a setup file I have here to set up grandma's house. So grandma's making roughly 7 million cookies, one cookie per type. We got oatmeal, raisin, chocolate chip, etc. She also makes a Sour Patch Kid cookies because she's a maniac, but that's all right. And she has 100 grandchildren because, grandma's one busy lady. All right, so we have the cookie class here. The cookie class can has a type to match the chocolate chip, the sugar, etc. And also, she was a nice lady this time and said, hey, you know what? I'll make some gluten-free cookies as well. And we'll get into that later. This block of code just is adding cookies into the cookie jar. Grandma had to put them one by one, 7 million cookies. That takes her a long time. But each cookie has a cookie type. And then randomize if it's gluten or not. Now we have a grandchild class that has a name, favorite cookie, and then if they require gluten-free. Now, the first time I show you this, I'm not actually going to go through the gluten-free part or not, but we can add that in later. And then it has an array of cookies to eat that is empty that we're going to fill depending on what their favorite cookie is. Okay, woo, fun stuff. All right, so we're just iterating through and creating all the grandchildren and randomizing their name for fun, favorite cookie, requires gluten-free, etc. And we're adding all those children, and then we're exporting that. And now we have grandma's cookies code. So this is the main code here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create some variables to hold the cookie jar and the grandchildren. All right, so in this scenario, every grandchild is going to share the cookies with everyone else because everyone just loves each other and so nice to each other. And we just want everyone to get along, okay? But we only want to give the children their favorite cookie. Okay, we don't want to have a children who loves a Sour Patch Kid cookie, who's an absolute maniac, to get chocolate chip cookie, right? Let's do this the slow way, okay? So this is saying, all right, grandma's put everything in the cookie jar. So we'll iterate to the grandchildren. Now we can set the cookies to eat to some of the cookies of the cookie jar. How do we find out what cookies are in the cookie jar that match the grandchildren what they want? So we're going to say, hey, cookie jar, filter, say x.type, x is a cookie, equals grandchild dot favorite cookies. So that way we're filtering out that array so each grandchild can grab one of their cookies. Okay, and again, they're sharing it among grandchilds, but once they eat, they're not eating the whole cookie because they're not monsters, right? Given that grandma's probably also rubbed every single cookie betwixt her butt cheeks, maybe they're not going to be that great quality, but that's all right. The kids will share it anyway. They'll just have to deal with it, okay? So now we have the cookies to eat on each grandchild. Okay, let me just log the first grandchild just to show you what it looks like, right? Okay, now keep in mind, this is with 7 million cookies and 100 grandchildren. Now, this is the slow way, okay? So let's see what happens when we run this. All right, and we wait for it to finish. Okay, it finished. So grandma baked 7 million cookies and shared them among all 100 grandchildren. It took the grandchildren 8.5 seconds to decide what cookies to share. Now, in the grand scheme of things, if this is an actual scenario, these grandchildren are super fast and amazing and awesome. But, in our coding world, we want this to be quicker, right? So 8.56 seconds, that's terrible. All right, now Marlon here. See, here's the grandchild named Marlon. His favorite cookie is sugar, because who doesn't love sugar cookies? Oh, good old Marlon. And he says he requires gluten-free, but we don't care about that right now. We'll get into that in a bit. And you can see that, look at how many cookies to eat he has. Wow, so many. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, so that's the slow way. To do this the fast way, what we can do is we can create a map that holds the cookies at the ID that we care about. So in this case, we're going to create a map where the key is the cookie type, and then we can just access from the cookie. So in this case, the grandma is making cookie sheets, and she's laying out all the cookies so the children can see exactly what cookies they're looking at without having to sort through all the different cookies in the jar. So the children are like, yay, thank you, grandma. We love you so much. And the grandma's like, settle down, kids, settle down. They still taste like absolute garbage. And that's okay. Create a cookie sheet variable. We're going to convert the cookie jar into cookie sheets. Okay. So we're going to create a cookie ID that holds the cookie type. Okay. We're going to say let cookie ID. And for now, we're just going to set that equal to cookie.type. I set it up that way because eventually we might want to add more to this ID, like the gluten-free part. So I set it up that way to add to it later on. All right. So now we're going to create an entry in the object if there is none at the cookie ID, okay, or the key of the object, right? So that's super simple. We're going to say if not cookie sheets, cookie ID, right? There's nothing on the cookie sheet we got to add to the cookie sheet. All right, it's just like if grandma comes down only wearing an apron, the kids are going to yell at her and be like, hey, grandma, put some clothes on, you bastard. We're going to add the cookie at the key here, right? We're going to say cookie sheets at the cookie ID. dot push cookie. So each sheet now has all the cookies per its type. So there'll be a sheet of sugar cookies. There'll be a sheet of chocolate chip. So now the kids know exactly where the cookies are. I mean, there's a million cookies on each sheet. So these are the most giant sheets that ever existed, but that's all right. Grandma also took a big sheet before the kids came over. So she's used to that. And now what we're going to do, so we prepped our cookie sheets. Now it's so easy. We don't need to filter in our cookie jar. All we need to do is just grab it straight from our map. So we can iterate through the grandchildren again. Okay, and then we can say grandchild.cookies to eat, same kind of code as up above. Instead of filtering through the cookie jar, we can just look at the cookie sheets at the the cookie ID, which we can just copy for now, but we could create a function to reuse that at some point too. But there you go. Now instead of cookie type though, we're gonna say grandchild.favorite cookie. That favorite cookie of the grandchild, because they only want their favorite cookie, and the cookies to eat array will hold all their favorite cookies, and it's amazing. And they're gonna share it with each other because they're lovely children, okay? All right, so let's comment out the slow bit, and let's run this again and let's see how quick this takes. Look at that, 0.924 seconds. Okay, well that's with 7 million cookies and 100 grandchildren. Wow, that is what, almost 10 times quicker doing it this way. We love you, Grandma, you dirty bastard. Let's say Grandma was being extra feisty in her youth and she has 100,000 grandchildren. Nothing wrong with that. She just liked getting her cheeks clapped in the day. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? So we're gonna run the same thing, 7 million cookies with 100,000 grandchildren, still 0.93 seconds. All right, let's do it the slow way with 1 million cookies per type. So that's 7 million cookies and about 1,000 grandchildren. So let's run that the slow way and wait for it to finish. Let's see what happens. All right, looks like it finished 7 million cookies and share them among all 1,000 grandchildren. It took 83 seconds. Now that's a long time. We don't want our code to be dealing with that much time. Let's see how quickly that does it with the fast method. Wow, look at that. That is almost 90 times faster doing it this way. Thank you so much, Grandma, for laying out those giant, massive cookie sheets. So I recommend doing this kind of thing if you have a large data set. It really speeds up the process. Maybe a more applicable use case could be, looking at data that's coming back from a relational database that you want to relate together, and you can do it this way instead. It's so much quicker. Now let's add in the check to make sure that the gluten allergy works as well. So now we're going to add the cookie.gluten-free to the key. All we do here, now there's many ways you can do this, but for now, I'm just going to use a dash gluten-free. Okay, if the cookie's gluten-free or not. Append to that key. Let's do another console log. Look at that, 1.455 seconds, so it's still a lot quicker. John requires gluten-free. Looks like it all is gluten-free true. All right, we're gonna try this one more time with 10,000 grandchildren just to make sure that we're still going quickly. You can see here that it still now took about 1.6 seconds with 10,000 grandchildren and 1 million cookies per type, so 7 million cookies. So this is so much quicker. Oh, Grandma, what a lovely lady, just making all these cookies for us. She works so hard. Thank you so much. There you go. There's some cool stuff for you right there. Enjoy it. Don't enjoy it. I don't care. I'm just glad you stuck around. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.